fire, and ash. Now, if people do not know what Avatar is. Avatar is a film series set on Pandora, an alien world that has its own species of sentient beings called Na'vi. In the first movie, it followed Jake Sully, who was a human soldier sent to Pandora. Over the course of the movie, he grew to love the Na'vi and eventually helped the Na'vi drive the majority of humanity off Earth. And by movie two, we learn that Jake has had a family with Neytiri, who is now a wife. He's had three kids, and adopted one daughter, with the child of a deceased friend. We also learn that in that between the course of Avatar 1 and Avatar 2, Jake's sworn enemy, Quadrich, was revived. His DNA was taken before he died, sent back to Earth, and cloned into a Na'vi body. As we can see here, he's woken up. And over the course of Avatar 2, he tracks Jake and his family to their initial home, which then forces them to flee to, to the Metayinka, a race of quote unquote ocean Na'vi. And they're called ocean Na'vi because, unlike the subspecies of Na'vi that Jake and his family is, the Metayinka's bodies have adapted for sea life, as they have webbed feet and their tails are visibly thicker, as well as the coloration is much lighter and closer to turquoise than it is to the dark blue of forest Na'vi like Jake and Neytiri. Jake and his family, once they arrive, they plead for sanctuary called Uturu, and eventually, and after some back and forth, they're able to get that sanctuary. And in order to properly integrate, they start learning how to fit in with the Matinkia clan, start learning their ways, start learning how to hunt in the water, how to ride the ocean mounts and whatnot. And during the course of this, they also encounter the Tulkun, which are essentially Pandora's version of giant whales. The Matinkia view the Tulkun as their spiritual brothers and sisters and share a very deep connection with them. Over the course of this movie, towards the later stages, Quadris decides to start hunting the Tulkun after he finds out where Jake and his family are staying, as a method to lure them out into the open. Eventually, this culminates in Jake's children getting captured, along with the child of the chief of the Metinka. All of them get captured except for Neteyam, the oldest of Jake's children, who eventually is able to free them by sneaking onto the ship and cutting their bonds. This culminates in a battle with the Metinka facing off against the people that have been hunting the Torku, along with Jake facing off against Quaritch. In the end, they're able to drive off the people hunting the Torkun. However, Neteyam is tragically killed during the conflict, and Quaritch was able to escape. As we can see here, Quaritch has returned in Fire and Ash. There are several things to note inside Fire and Ash. For example, we can see that Loak has taken up Natiri's bow, which was broken. We also see new animals that we did not see in the previous movies, such as what appear to be flying squid of sorts. We also see a new region, which something that's curious to note. If we go back, we see the trees which have been burnt to a stump. These are known as spirit trees, which Navi used to connect to Ewa, their goddess. The Matinkia have an underwater version of that tree, but as we can see here, the Ash people either they burnt the tree themselves, or as a result of being in a volcanic region, it eventually got burnt to ash due to an eruption or whatnot. We also noticed another interesting thing that Quadrich is traveling with the family. As we can see here, this person at the back is Quadrich. We can also see him here from the way that the hair is styled, even though it's hard to tell. We also see Jake talking to Neytiri about trying to live in hate, which suggests that another tragedy has befallen them. Another thing we know is that Quadrich has gone along to the Ash people for likely to either join or to talk to them. We also see that Ntinki's tribe is burning, which suggests that either Quadrich had returned with his people and he was brought back to help the humans as well as the help of the Ash people, which we can see here. And we can also notice their leader, this woman who is known as Varang. One thing that should be noted is that Ash people, for whatever reason, do not seem to hold any belief in AOR whatsoever. It can either be a result of their spirit trees burning or a conscious decision. We also see just now that Jake is being escorted away by humans. This could either indicate him either being captured and placed into a holding cell to be executed due to the fact that he was the one that was leading the revolution against the revolutionary rebellion against humans taking over Pandora, or could suggest him being sent back. We also see an unknown phenomenon happening here. We see these purple energy streams coming out from the ground, which could either indicate some kind of volcanic eruption, as we see earlier in the trailer that a volcano is situated within the Ash People's area. This could either be Pandora's own type of volcanic eruption, or could be some unique thing that happened as a result of the eruption being tampered with, either by the Ash People themselves or by humans dropping something like a bomb into it. We also see Quadrich wearing the Ash People's colors and fighting Jake. It suggests that he has joined the Ash People. It should also be noted that towards the end of the trailer, Varang states that Awa holds no power wherever they are, which is presumably the Ash People's territory. For a variety of reasons, such as the spirit trees being burnt, which means that there is no connection to Awa that Kiri can capitalize on. My predictions for the movie is that we'll likely see Neytiri go out on another rampage similar to what happened towards the end of Avatar 2, but most likely it will be much worse compared to what we saw in Avatar 2. We'll also likely see another one of the Sully children either get severely hurt or die. And Spider will most likely either be severely hurt or die. And given the fact that Neytiri is seen in the trailer running with what we assume to be Ronaldo's baby, it's safe to assume that something happens to her now. Either she's captured or she is murdered. Thank you for watching.